What's up, world? It's your host, Jordan Moore, and welcome to Flick of the Week. We're back, again, surprisingly, for the third episode. Anyways, so this episode's brought to you by Film Buff Apparel. It's a clothing brand made by filmmakers for filmmakers, and basically 100% of the profits go to, making indie film projects. So if you want to support the film scene, buy a shirt, check them out on Facebook. Check them out, filmbuffapparel.com. Anyways, let's get into the show. Basically, I want to do a disclaimer. Before we get into this, someone was spiking some coffee last night when we recorded this because I think we were getting a little tipsy. I think it makes for a really interesting show, so I think you're in for a treat because I'm probably not going to do this again. We drank a lot, and you can hear it. You can hear the bottles popping. And shit gets crazy. So, anyways, the guests. We got Nick Drake. He's back. He's back for a sequel again. And I think that I'm going to bring Nick in as my co-host because he's freaking hilarious. I love everything he has to say about movies. So, welcome to the show, Nick. I'm going to keep you. He's not really here presently for the intro, but he's going to be in the show coming up in a minute. Our guest tonight, our actual guest, is Brian Morris. Brian Morris is the owner of We Fix Ugly Pools, and he's also just a great guy. I've worked with him. I do video production for his company and for all of his endeavors, and he's hilarious too. So I hope you enjoy the show. Here it is. Boom.
Wait, let me explain something to you. I'm the dude.
What is it?
It's the one that said bad motherfucker.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
We're sending you back to the future.
So, I don't know how to start this show. I'm going to start it by saying I don't know how to start the show.
That's okay.
So, because we're experimenting. So, we're going to dig into some uncharted territory. We're going to go places. We're going to
Where no man has gone before.
Yeah, we're going to
like Matt Damon. In the Martian.
In the Flick of the Week, basically, we talk about movies. We go see movies. We talk about them. We break them down. We have random guests completely irrelevant to the movie.
Off the street.
We pull people. Hey, Brandon, who are you? I don't know you.
Random man
Say
from
hi.
Gas station.
Hey. There you go. Brandon on the show. But
Random Brandon.
Random Brandon.
Random Brandon.
But
now your character.
The flicks have been picked, people. We're talking about Sicario. We're talking about The Martian. We're talking about Everest. And most of that ties in. Tip of the iceberg. Tip of the top of the tippity-toppest highest mountain ever. Everest. The highest mountain, Everest.
Stop. Please. You're literally killing me.
And we got some guests tonight. I mean, we always have guests.
Mm-hmm.
Hope so.
It's kind of not a new thing, but
keep going. But I want to start the show like I always start the show in the dumbest way possible. I want to say, what have you guys been watching lately? What's new? What's
Been doing theater, a lot more theater.
So you been watching theater?
A lot of theater. Had to go see The Wicked.
Wicked.
What
is
Hell
Wicked
yeah.
about?
Wicked, it kind of explains the whole premise of The Wizard of Oz.
Before Dorothy.
Before Dorothy. Well, actually, Dorothy makes a special appearance in it. It's kind of cool.
Oh, really?
But it really ties the story into who the characters are, who the Tin Man is, how they got to that way. So it develops. It is a prequel, but it...
Is it better than that other movie that was a prequel? What
It's
was
also
that one movie called? The Great Powerful Oz. James Franco's like in an airplane.
that was shit.
That was shit.
Terrible.
The Wicked was exactly that.
It's
it was
also
Wicked.
It's also a role reversal on the Wicked Witch versus Glinda.
Bingo.
Ooh,
it
that
actually,
sounds cool.
But see, that's the whole thing, is it defines all of those roles, and really, you will never watch Wizard of Oz the same ever again.
Yeah,
is it like all
Glinda.
nice and lighthearted, or is it like really like kind of cool?
It's very dramatic. The entire fabric of the Yellow Brick Road has been altered forever in my mind.
So did you watch it live? Or
It is live.
So you went and saw it live, or did you watch
Damage.
it?
No, Gamage. Yeah, it was actually
Wow.
live. And I haven't been to a musical in I don't know how long. So this was like a stretch for me. But I've heard so many good reviews about it, and when I had this like no expectation. I had no freaking clue what I was even getting into. In fact, I'm Googling it while I was sitting in the...
What is this shit?
Yeah, wow. And Siri said, shut your ass and sit down, kind of thing. But it was really like, okay. And it kept you going because you really, as you started to see things unfold, it took a while to develop, which kind of sucked for me because I have ADHD anyway. But by the second act, I'm like, things were starting to develop. That actually made sense.
It describes where the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Cowardly Lion actually come from, and
in ways
cool.
that you
in ways
would
that you
never
never
have expected.
Right.
It shows you why he's cowardly.
No
why
good
is he
deed,
cowardly?
my friend. No good deed.
No good deed.
So what have you been watching?
I watched at work the other day instead of working.
Damn.
Airplane and The Patriot. Airplane is probably like if
the original Airplane.
The original Airplane. It's still hilarious today.
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
I love him.
We're counting on you. I love you.
I love you.
Or whatever he says.
Yes.
It's like the Mount Rushmore of dry humor. That's gotta be like the first face right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Patriot, I just think that's a pretty cool movie because what's his name? Roland Emmerich, director of Independence Day, White House Down, all these Day After Tomorrow. Then he makes like this like little Revolutionary War movie. It looks fairly low budget. There's no buildings being demolished forever.
Yeah.
And he could have done that with the Revolutionary War, but no. But yeah, that was kind of before Mel Gibson became a literal Mad Max. When he made good choices and started directing more stuff.
Movie.
Yeah.
I try to pretend Mel Gibson is not the person I know him to be today when I watch that movie because it's so good.
I wish we could go back in time and have
To the
done an
Revolutionary
episode.
War.
Have done not too far, but
Okay.
have done an episode about Mad Max, the adaptation, the new one.
Yeah, it's
But-
getting 3 sequels apparently.
Speaking of but speaking of that, speaking of adaptation, that's what I watched. I actually got a chance. I listened to another podcast about movies and stuff.
Wait, you watched Mad Max or adaptation?
No, I watched adaptation.
Oh, okay.
But,
The Nicolas
but I listened to a
Cage,
podcast with Seth Rogen and his writing partner. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But they had talked about how they loved the movie adaptation, so I had to watch that. That was what I watched recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's starring Nick Cage,
Meryl Streep,
Streep,
Nicolas Cage twice.
Nicolas Cage.
You know what? His
Yeah,
best
he
movies
played
are
him-
not the action movies.
No.
way.
Except for, I would say everybody would probably agree, Con Air.
Con Air was pretty
Con
good.
Air
The Rock
the
was
shit.
pretty
I'm
good, but he
hands down.
wasn't like very actiony in
That
the
was-
movie.
That was all
Sean
pivotal.
Connery.
Sean Connery.
Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
That's
But the
As poor as that was, great job.
Thank
No.
you.
if you're gonna talk about Nick Cage, Leaving Las Vegas.
That's my favorite one.
hands down. Leaving Las Vegas, best Nick Cage
But
movie.
guys,
That's
Wicker
good.
Man though.
Terrible.
Fuck Wicker Man.
Stupid remake.
You could go way back into Nick Cage's and do Valley Girl. Oh,
Valley Girl?
That's digging deep for.
What was that one?
Why
Where
He
did I
had
just
like
say
such a
that?
small role in that. Or he had
Yeah,
a big
but-
role, but
It was so Nick Cage at
Yeah.
a young age. You're like, what the?
Kiss of Death. Have you
Kiss-
seen that one?
Kiss of
Yes.
Death?
CSI Miami. What's his name? David Caruso. He's and like Samuel Jackson before he was really famous.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie, like 2 or 3 times, he's like, "You want to get a hot dog?" And Nicolas Cage is like the bad guy, and he's a germaphobe. It's pretty good, but
All right.
there's a lot of weird things.
Speaking of bad guys, Face Off.
I was reading
Man.
about that the other day, and John Travolta was like, "This is either going to be really good or really bad. I have no idea." And luckily, it made a lot of money.
I thought that was
Dude.
actually they did a really. Those two paired up were actually.
But like on paper, as an actor, you're like, "What the hell am
You
I
have
getting
no
into?"
idea, yeah.
His face is going on my face, and mine is on. Oh,
I gotta be pretending to be.
Nicolas Cage looks nothing like me.
And then-
he's 80 pounds lighter.
But you can't. you can't go wrong with John Woo though.
You could.
Every movie.
There was a one called Mission Impossible 2. Which...
Dude, I love Mission Impossible 2.
Oh
I guess that's a
God.
mission in
Okay, you have to look into
opinion,
a
man.
caters too that likes that one.
It's pretty bad.
Dude,
I don't know what
Have you
happens.
seen Paycheck? God, eat a dick, John Woo.
Paycheck's not that good.
You should pay me back for paying for that movie. What the heck is that movie anyway? I mean, it was just like Dora the Explorer with Ben Affleck. That's all
That's
it
a
was.
pretty sick analogy, right?
Okay, all right. So enough of that. We're talking about Everest. We're talking about Sicario. We're talking about The Martian. What should we start with?
I'd like to go with Everest.
All right, let's start with Everest. Okay.
Everest
So-
is Mad Max on a mountain. They
Is
go
it?
up it, and then they turn around and come down, and everybody falls down at some point. That's exactly the same plot,
I didn't even think of it that way.
just in snow.
That's a fucking...
I swear to God, if the new Mad Max is like that, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Was there the epic guitar player?
You know, there's.
It was a
like-
damn good
It was
theme
really
song,
weird
though.
because they were both in 3D, but this one had what could have been in 3D. Like it didn't make any sense. Like the
Yeah,
part where the
did
guy
they fall down?
kind of shimmies on a ladder and goes, "Whoa!"
Yeah, they
and then
didn't-
nothing happens. Like
They didn't really like play on the fact like what was interesting about 3D is when I saw the re-release of Titanic, I was like, damn, that movie was made for 3D. Like when I
Yeah, it
saw
was.
that come out again, it was a blessing because I was, you know, my lifetime I was just a little late for
there's
that
some
movie.
good movies that should be in 3D. I watched Avatar in 3D, and I really
Yeah.
like Avatar, but then I watched it and I was like, "Whoa, this is a trip! Like
Yeah.
things are flying at you."
That movie was
But
like scripted for
some
3D.
movies, Saw 3D, at the end he throws a saw at the camera, and that was the only thing in 3D. I was like, I paid $3, but they would put the Notebook in 3D just to trick people.
Did
into
they?
watch- No, they didn't do that. But I wouldn't put it past them
I was-
because Everest, there was nothing 3D. There was a couple of shots where like the mountain was like maybe could have been in 3D, but the part where the guy falls doesn't fall at the camera. What
Yeah.
was in 3D? I have
That's
no idea.
the thing is that that just hurts my feelings that they would make a movie. Maybe it's just because they're getting out of hand.
16 people that died on a mountain, and then like somehow it was like in 3D.
By the way,
Really? There's
This
people's
movie's
bodies
fucking
are
high
still
up.
there. Like, oh
That's-
my God.
that's the thing
Well-
is that I think that they had so much opportunity to make that obviously more 3D, but also I can't, since you just brought that up, I can't get away from the fact that fucking it's in real life. There's like a bunch of fucking dead bodies on Everest
I was
above
reading
the
about
death
it, and
zone.
they're like, Rob Hall is still there.
Yeah, he's
I was
just
like, that's
laying
eerie
there.
because nobody can go up there and get him.
Did
like,
you hear about
still.
after the movie? As soon as we walked out, because me and you saw it together.
Mhm.
As soon as we walked out, I went and read an article about how like there's a major turning point on the trail when you get to the death zone. There's a major point where you have where they all the guides say if you're not with us, just go to the go to the man with the green boots and turn.
Oh yeah,
turn
and
left.
he's there, like
This-
his body, and he has like really
Yeah.
bright green neon, like roller skate boots almost.
Yeah.
And they call him that because he's so frozen in the ice that
Yeah.
now he's just a landmark.
And the sick part is that he's moved.
Oh, the ice has shifted him. Like
They say that's the funny part is that he's not it's debatable that it was the ice or if that people were like fuck this guy, like he's in the way and they moved him out of the way.
you think
I don't know,
people
but
desecrate a body like that? Get his
if-
boots.
here's my opinion. Yeah.
Frost him to get his boots.
Take his fucking boots. No, but I looked at the photos and I'm like, he moved a great distance.
Wow.
Like snow don't move you up a hill.
Oh, he went up.
Up the
Oh,
fucking hill.
I
Like
was like a couple of avalanches
like
could have
my
made him
the
down.
room of the distance of this room, like 15
feet,
feet,
yeah.
10 feet. Yeah, he moved 10 feet uphill
Huh.
into a crevice. Like he's like kind of pushed out of the way now. I'm like,
That's weird.
somebody
Well,
just like got
Nah,
sick of his
hold on.
ass.
They say water expands, so maybe it got really cold and just pushed him up.
I think
I would
don't
buy
know.
that if it was downhill.
Yeah,
I'm not buying it.
No.
but so
People just
It was
move
like
the body.
No, it was like deliberate.
Like you're using all your energy. This is not at the bottom of the hill. This is at the
Hey,
top.
if you made it
and
to the
somebody was
top-
like, "Screw it, we'll move this guy too." Like I don't know.
Have you seen graffiti on these freaking
True.
freeways?
Yeah.
Really, you're hanging upside down to paint your fucking name?
But they haven't climbed 18 miles to get there.
Well, if you climbed Everest, you'd be like, let's just move the body.
I guess.
Look what we did.
So-
Take a picture.
I
just-
True.
I gotta say,
I'm not gonna rule it out.
I wanted to bring up Keira Knightley because you had a
Why?
good point. I didn't want to like steal your thunder, so I wanted to say Keira Knightley and let you roll.
Keira Knightley, what happened to you? I was really attracted to you. I had a poster in my room well, that's the wrong term. When Pirates of the Caribbean came out and she was in Bend It Like Beckham, and I was just like, are all these just like phallic titles? What is going on? But they're actually quality movies. She was in them a lot. She was, King Arthur, which is a terrible movie, but it was popular. And then all of a sudden she just dropped off the face of the earth doing like little indies and like terrible Hollywood. Like Jack Ryan was god awful.
Yeah, it was bad.
And her American accent was not much better.
Speaking of Jack Ryan, though, I mean, I
I
hate
heard
to
she
get off
filmed that in
subject
6
though.
days.
She
For
filmed
Everest.
her part in Jack
In Everest.
Ryan.
In Everest.
Oh, in Everest.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
She's
I
just
mean,
on a couch the whole time.
Yeah, she was.
Bro, but you couldn't make it.
We said that before
He's
we even
like,
saw the
"No."
movie. It's like she from the trailer. She was like in her nightie, like in a bed, on a phone, on a couch. Like,
Yeah.
what role? Like the biggest part of her movie, or
It
the
could've been
biggest
filmed
part
in the
she
editing
was in
room.
was in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
when she was pregnant in
And
front
at
of
the
people.
airport, when she
Yeah.
has at the end, and she's like, "Oh, Rob's not coming." Like what? No offense to the dead, but I feel like Hollywood already offended you, so I'm sorry. That was just strange. They had Jason Clarke and Sam Worthington, both Terminator alums. If you
Yeah.
can say Salvation was an alum, I don't know. I think Josh Brolin was probably the best part of that movie, though.
I'd
Yeah,
agree.
I
Yeah.
agree. Josh Brolin.
He came back out of nowhere. I thought he was just kind of a throwaway character, and then he wasn't. He was like the best part of that movie, really. I
He
thought
definitely, and that's an interesting thing about writing, because this story was totally based on like true events,
so. True
but-
events. Yep.
but on the same level, it was a very well crafted story, because, like you said, Josh Brolin like appeared to be a throwaway character, and you realize you're like, oh my god, he's nothing to the story, but towards the end, oh my god, he
I
came
thought
back.
He was just kind of like a wuss, because he starts there's the whole story's about like 16 or 13 climbers that didn't make it, and I heard that this was the record, and during the production of this movie on the real Everest, 16 people died, so the record got topped whilst this story is being
What?
told. Right? Yeah, pretty crazy, huh?
So 16 people, like more than 16 people died during the production of this movie.
Yeah, like the record of the massacre got topped. It had been like, well, this was based on the 90s or late 80s, I think. I think early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah.
And then, yeah, this, while it was being filmed 1-2 years ago, a worse thing happened. Pretty crazy.
My god.
And we had like 20, 30 years of technology better, you know?
Was it
So it's
part of the
just
production, or was it
no,
just...
no, like
it
the
just
real,
happened?
it just happened. Like
But-
they're telling the story about what was at the time like the worst thing that happened on Everest, and then something worse happens while they're
So the
filming
mountain has like a
they
sixth
delayed
sense of
production.
humor.
Maybe,
It's just like,
maybe.
Fuck
Mother
people.
Nature has a sixth sense of humor.
What
it was
was it?
1996 when this happened.
1996, and so I think 2013, 2014 was when they were actually filming it, and they had to delay the production because of it.
that's another thing that makes it like interesting, is that throughout the movie, and that's what I liked about it, is that I believe in that, because I've been, and I said this I spoke with my girlfriend when we got out of the movie. I've been in like high altitude, and on a separate occasion I've been in extreme cold, but I've never been in the two at the same time. And that's what's amazing about this is you've heard about Everest mostly in joking ways, kind of like the movie Mr. Deeds.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a joke. Like they have a helicopter pick a guy
Alien
up.
versus Predator,
You know?
the lady just casually like strolls up. Yeah, I'm on Everest. Take this phone call.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
A good reception up here.
But there's an alien. Let's go. Pick me up.
But I can't imagine both of the two major things happening at the same time, like negative 10, 15 degrees Fahrenheit at the same time, feeling like half the amount of oxygen that you can take in at a normal altitude.
I was doing basic training in Fort Leonard Wood, and it was negative 8 degrees, and we were running at like a very low altitude, just a couple miles. Well, I think we went on like a 5-mile run, and it took everything out of me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine climbing a mountain for days.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is
worst temperatures.
The like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the thing that it takes to do Everest is you have to go up to different camps for certain amounts of time and go back down. So it takes like 4 or 5 months.
You have to train yourself, and you can
Yeah.
only do it on the mountain.
Yeah,
Like, there's
so
no other way.
You have to go to Camp 2 for like 2 weeks and then go back down for a week and then go back up. So like in the movie, yes, they fast forwarded obviously for the sake of 2 hours, but it's just insane to think that you put yourself through such intense, like on both levels, because like you said, you were just training in cold temperature, not even high altitude. But imagine both at the same time. It just blows my mind.
And that's why like it seemed kind of dumb to the layman when like somebody's like, I can't move, but really, you know, like you can't after everything's taken out of your body, like.
Well, no, that circulation
You can't be.
different.
Your circulation's different, and you're
the
at
pressure's
the
different.
highest point in the world. And then they're like, maybe I think he climbed down to slightly lower than that. The main character,
Yeah.
Rob Hall, played by Jason Clarke.
Jason Clarke, yeah.
And the main focus was pretty much on him, and then it shifted over to Josh Brolin, kind of. And those were like the two main characters, I would say.
I don't think, and that's
Definitely not Jake Gyllenhaal.
I want to say, yeah, okay, we're gonna get into Jake Gyllenhaal in a second, but I want to say that Jason Clarke and really the whole story is, I love this movie because they didn't turn a real life story, a true story, into some bullshit Hollywood movie by spending too much time making one guy like the highlight. Because they made everyone had a big key point.
I heard that they were actually going to do that because Christian Bale was set to star as Rob Hall.
Really?
And it was about Rob Hall. And when he dropped out, then the director was like, let's make this like an ensemble. Let's make it about the actual people, not person.
Yeah.
Let's not make another Rescue Dawn where it's like about one person in this
Exactly.
camp. And it worked out. It became a better movie by far. But then, yeah, I think it did get diluted and by the 3D thing. Like, it was just unnecessary.
Yeah. But what I wanted to say about who'd you say? What was his name?
Jason Clarke?
No, fucking
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, yes, he had.
Could have been
He
played
was
by
in it,
any
but
actor in
Yeah.
the
you
world.
said it. You said it right when we went to the movie. Is you were like, did they just put this guy in the movie just to get people to go to the movie?
I feel, because you told me that some of this was filmed at the actual base camp, I'm sure the rest was in a studio or something like that. But
yeah, I don't think they filmed
No.
anything above the death zone
But
because that's out of
for
contract.
sure by insurance and whatever. But I really feel like actors probably saw that and be like, I'll take a pay cut to go to Everest.
Yeah.
I really think that probably is what happened. And then like now they're pulling out Jake Gyllenhaal for a character that has 6 lines.
That's what I was.
You know, and it was just like he could have been played by anybody, really.
It was just
Yeah.
the face on the poster is what it was.
He-
But
Credibility.
they're probably like, hey, we got him cheap. Why not?
Yep.
Go for it.
he
What'd you
totally made the movie because, and that's the thing, is that not only did they put him as he had these goofy five or six major lines, but they were major lines. Like he was at base camp in a fucking swimming suit, and then when he finally made it to the top of Everest, he had the iconic shot where he put his one finger on the top of the fucking mountain.
But
and he died a glorious death. Spoiler! Jake Gyllenhaal dies.
Whoa, the whole story is about people
Did he
that die on
die?
the mountain. Yeah,
Because I don't know. I mean, everyone dies. It's like Departed.
But it's kind of weird. He went from Nightcrawler to Southpaw to his character in Everest.
I feel like
maybe he just wanted a break. Who knows? You know,
vacation, man. I needed to die.
Made 8 blockbusters.
I think they just figured anything to do with a mountain. There was this broke back.
I did not put that
reprising?
together.
Think about that. I mean, maybe there was like a lead in.
He's like, hey, nobody gets to be in a mountain movie without me.
Exactly.
That's it.
So he made the most like heterosexual character he could have. He's like this badass in a swimming suit. Like, I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna hike Mount Everest and touch it and die gloriously.
That's it. He was it wasn't
Bleep
gloriously.
all of that.
He was the least glorious.
It was least
honestly.
glorious, yes.
He was the guy that was just like, leave me, I'm good, I'll be up there. And then like they come back to him like 10 minutes later and they're like, man, he didn't make it.
He's fucking dead. He's fucking
He gave
dead.
up right there. And he was like, they made it seem like he was close to the camp, like somebody could have grabbed him. But yeah, Josh Brolin, man, good. He was in the Goonies. He was in a couple things.
Yeah, man.
And he had like a 20-year thing where he's just like an actor just taking whatever. And then boom, No Country for Old Men. And now he gets like everything. And even if it's not that great, it's at least good, I would say, for everything I've seen. He's had, 3 good movies?
Yeah, but
Sin City did not make that much money, but I would say it was pretty good.
His part was great in that movie. And this same thing is, like you said, he played the role well. He developed his character, and he was a pertinent part to the movie.
It seems like he's in his prime, and that happens with a couple actors where they're not really in their prime until they're like 45, 55 years old.
This is crazy.
And it sucks because they've struggled so long. Then it pays off. Ron Perlman is like another good example.
Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau.
Who didn't make it until he became an old man.
That's true.
Well, Morgan Freeman, too. He was like 50 by the time he had his major first role.
Charles Bronson was 50, and he started doing Death Wish, and he became a big action star. He just was in shape, but he was old, man.
Yep.
As far as action stars go.
Yeah, all he had before that was like The Great Escape, and he was nothing in that. He was like this simple role.
Josh Brolin is he's come back, and he stayed on that path, and
I think he's being careful as an actor.
He's being very careful, but even in his little roles, they're in big movies. He was probably in 2 minutes, but he was an American Gangster. People that make movies see that.
Yeah.
And they go, look at this guy's resume. Go for it. Put him in it.
That's the odd thing. You just said the key word. Look at his resume. It's almost like some of the stuff that he does is all, like you said, the 2-minute part. Mm-hmm. Like it looks like it's like a resume.
A couple, but a lot of them, he has gotten so many supporting roles, I would say. No Country for Old Men, I think he won the supporting role.
That's what I said. I think, though, was what he realizes is he's not like, you don't put Josh Brolin in as they put Jake in.
Right, well...
Because he's a poster child.
True.
Josh Brolin's not a poster child.
But I think the best remake I've seen in a long time was Old Boy, and he was the main character. And that was perfect for him. Because it was like about an old man getting revenge, and Josh Brolin was like the perfect actor for that. But that kind of leads into, you want to start talking about Sicario?
Yeah.
He's in that too. He's been 3-4 movies this year, 2 in the same weekend.
I think it's impressive that he found. I mean, I don't know if it's not him. Obviously, it's however he played his cards, so to speak. But somehow he's got 2 major movies coming out in the same weekend, and that's intense. That's good. That's good publicity.
I really judge how an actor is good. Like, I used to just think if an actor was in a good movie, he was a good actor. But I've come to realize that that's not true. I've come to realize that if an actor is 2 completely different people, that he's a good actor. Mm-hmm. And between Everest and Sicario, so different.
Oh my god.
Polar opposites, you know what I mean? And then you'll see some people that always just like I was watching a preview for Burnt, and it had Emma Thompson, and she's just like a lady with an English accent and has quips in every movie. That's all she is. She's either
Like,
kind of
yes.
serious funny or funny serious, and maybe she's typecast, but maybe that's all she can really do.
But you know, I totally forgot about Josh Brolin was Men in Black.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
There you
totally
go.
forgot
He was a
about that.
perfect
Agent
Tommy Lee
K?
Jones. Like I don't think anybody else could have done that.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
You know, and no. I was just thinking, you know, totally forgot about him being in Men in Black, and he was a major part.
Mm-hmm.
He was Agent K, right?
Agent K.
Yeah.
The young Agent K.
No, yeah, well, yeah.
29.
29.
You got some
You know,
road
and
miles
that's
on ya.
and segueing back to what we were saying, Tommy Lee
John,
Jones, he didn't get his career until late in his life too.
He's got wrinkles.
He had a lot of good
What did he
hits in
play?
between. He was in Natural Born Killers.
Did,
Yeah,
He was-
but again,
he was in,
but
it was
how
when he
old was he
developed
when
as
he
an
started?
as an older actor.
Yeah.
When he
I feel like he had like enough big hits, like probably one every couple of years, that he was pretty relevant. Josh Brolin had a good slump where he was just like in nothing.
yeah.
And
Makes me
now
wonder.
he's in something good, either interesting and doesn't make a lot of money, or makes a lot of money and is interesting. You know what I mean? He's never the worst part of the movie. And I thought Everest, when I started watching it, I was like, this is it. He hit the end of the road. And then by the end of the movie, I was like, man, boy, was I wrong. 'Cause
Yeah. And you know what was funny is that I thought that, you know, I was kind of torn apart watching Inherent Vice.
Oh yeah.
I thought that Inherent Vice was like a shit
loved
movie
Inherent
when I
Vice.
saw it at first. I was watching it and through it I was like, what the fuck is like
yeah,
mainly
Paul-
it's because here's the problem. And I want to describe this as the cheeseburger theory. And it sounds dumb, but let me explain. The cheeseburger theory is when someone goes to a mom and pop cheeseburger shop, right? And they're like, dude, Nick, this is the fucking best burger in the world. Just trust me, it's the fucking best burger in the world.
Then I go.
But it's like 15 miles out. So you're like, I'm never gonna go there. Maybe. And then 6 years down the road, you finally find the time to just stumble upon this mom and pop shop, right? And then you have that burger after all of this time that you've been hanging out with your buddy, and their buddy's saying this is a good burger, and you eat it and you're like, it was okay, right? Well, that's my feeling with Inherent Vice.
Really? I
And-
liked Inherent Vice. I'm a huge Paul Thomas Anderson
Well, that's
fan.
the thing is that Paul Thomas Anderson puts out great movies, and that's the problem. Is that I've seen so many great movies from this guy that it was the burger theory. Paul Thomas Anderson puts out so many great movies, including his masterpiece Boogie Nights.
No, man.
What?
It's not Boogie Nights.
What
it's
is
this
it?
movie called Hard Eight.
Hard Eight.
If you
Hard
have not
Eight?
seen that movie, you are not a cinephile, my friend. I have
Ooh.
the director's cut limited edition DVD. I will let you borrow it. But if you like Mississippi Grind, it will pale in comparison because it's like that kind of movie, and it's one of Paul Thomas Anderson's first movies. It might be the first.
Really?
But
This is
that-
new to me.
I
Hard
would-
Eight. Okay,
I
it's
think
his
maybe
third movie.
I think maybe Boogie Nights might be considered that because it's like the most famous, and probably just because there's a lot of porn in it, you know.
Everybody
But,
thought they saw Mark Wahlberg schlong.
yeah, he actually has that in his house.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but
No,
Everybody's like, oh my god, that was a big thing. You see how big Mark Wahlberg is?
but
It
that-
wasn't even him.
See, I think that would be my cheeseburger theory. Is like I tell you that there's a mom and pop place, and you wait forever, and you haven't even heard of this place, and then you finally eat it, and you're like, "Fuck, you're right. It's better than what he said." Hard Eight. Hard Eight is that movie.
All
I
right.
agree with that.
Well,
That's
okay.
a better
I
analogy, think.
respectfully, I agree
I'll
with
let you
you.
borrow it, and then you're gonna just
I'll have to watch. Okay.
be like, here,
When
you
you-
know.
I cannot.
all my
I
money.
cannot say fuck you. That's wrong about Hard Eight. I'll have to watch it because I haven't seen it. So there you go, fans. Hate me, but anyways, I
Maybe they haven't
liked
seen it either.
fucking
Probably
Boogie
not.
Nights.
Oh, Boogie Nights was a good movie.
I would say yeah.
It wasn't a good
movie.
movie. It's considered by most his masterpiece. So I'm
True.
not alone on that.
But you gotta think like more people are gonna watch a movie about porn stars than they are about like
but
John
that's
C. Reilly and Philip Baker Hall going to Vegas.
that's not the thing that makes Boogie Nights so great.
I think that's what maybe nobody will admit it, but that's definitely a lot to it.
No,
like,
dude.
Sex sells.
If I pan through that, it's true. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm gonna shut you both down real quick. Take it.
No,
look
I
at it.
do think it's a lot better movie than that. But if I'm scrolling through Netflix, the fact that story is what catches most people. Like porn star Mark Wahlberg.
I'm gonna fucking click
yeah.
that.
I remember saying we're gonna see Mark's thing in this one, and that's the whole thing. Even that whole discussion. I mean, that was huge. So people were like looking for that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Was it real? Was it not?
Heather Graham, dang, Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds, what?
What?
So how does this go back to Josh Brolin? I forget.
So anyway, Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
So Sicario.
Josh Brolin, then Sicario. That's how this puzzle's gonna work. I feel it.
Linking it back. No, but I think we should. I think that Josh Brolin is great, and he's coming back. He's coming into his own, finally in his old age, and especially in Sicario.
He's not that old, but he's just old in Hollywood years.
He's
like
old in
80
Hollywood years, yes. But he's coming into his own in terms of and really in terms of Hollywood. He knows who to talk to and how to formulate whoever he's working with. That's like his marketing director or his agent. They're working on his shit right. They're getting him in the right roles and putting his shit out right. And he was in the right movies, man. You know?
He's made so many good choices, and they've all... If they're not great, they're at least good.
You know
and
what's funny,
if
though?
the movie's not good, he's good in it.
The roles fit him, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like to be honest with you, it's like they're
It's
written
so
for
funny
him in
because
mind.
I'm... Like, every time I watch... I'm a big fan of Josh Brolin, but I'm like, when is the Southern draw gonna not work?
Yeah.
And it hasn't yet. But I feel a movie coming on, you know, I don't know. Or maybe he'll have a movie with like an accent, something else, and that'll put him far above
that could be his
else.
strength. His strength is maybe just saying no.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he says no to the roles that he knows are going to ruin his career.
Maybe.
He's like, dude, I'm a fucking Southern drawl. That's what I am. And that's it. And it ends there. And that's why he has those dry spells. Then maybe since from Goonies to, what is that movie?
No Country.
There will be No Country for Old Men. Maybe that was a whole dry spell where they never made any movies about like people in with a Southern drawl.
That was a long
ass dry spell.
Saran wrap. You're stretching that shit.
There was no Southern draw between
far.
1983 and 2011.
No Southern draws.
No, none.
He just got his living in
but
third party voices on Disney movies.
Maybe he just wasn't a good looking 30-year-old. Now he's like
Maybe.
a fox.
He's not a good looking guy now.
I feel like a lot of women
that's
that
the
are
thing.
match that age are like, that's a good looking man. But back in
Well, I
when he was
guess
30, probably
we're going
like,
for the guy who's like
The
the most
thing,
interesting
though,
man in the world.
there we
The
go.
most interesting thing is that when you get
His tricks are
nowadays
also treats.
in the last 10 years, in more than that, in the last like 15 years or 20 years, they're getting more into. It's not about like looking incredibly handsome. It's really about really fitting the character. They're dropping that shit now. It used to be in the 80s and
It's
and early
still there,
90s.
but
It
it's
used
not
to be
as much for sure.
yeah. Well, I'm talking about like critically acclaimed movies.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch a movie that when you watch it, like Revenant, no one's handsome in that movie.
Hey,
Furphy.
Sicario. Let's
Furphy.
get on track
Way
here.
roundabout. There you go.
Sicario is about the war on drugs and kind of about hitmen fighting it.
Honestly,
And I thought
okay.
it was very cool from my own experience because it was very like tactical, kind of like military FBI cop kind of movie. As a veteran, I had actually done missions kind of like this, like in convoys. And like there's a part of the movie where they're like in a 5-car convoy and they're like looking at like for suspects. I was like, this is like really real. Like this is actually how they do it. This was not like if you're in the military, if you're a cop or a firefighter, and you see movies about that, you're always like, oh, that would never happen, or nobody would ever say it that way. But it was actually very, for the most part, it was very real and truthful.
Yeah.
And like you could tell that they had some technical advisors on that.
Yeah, like when they were in traffic
like,
and
no
they're calling
bullshit.
out the car, second car from the left, down.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was very interesting. I was really impressed with that. But Emily Blunt, I was not impressed with at all.
No.
Because I was like, why is this character even in this movie? It looked like from the trailer that it was gonna be like Training Day. Oh, I'm a nice kind of cop and I gotta get into this shitty world. But they kind of just like left her there, and it wasn't.
They needed
it was
a pretty
so
face.
bad.
That's it. And honestly,
That's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
I loved, like you said, I loved it the way it was coming across on the trailer. But I feel like the way it came across in the movie is they had to put in this role that was like this
Under duress.
Damsel in distress.
damsel in,
okay.
distress.
Damsel in
Yeah.
distress.
Under duress.
I'm like, I don't know. We under duress.
Like,
Are you
word to
warning me?
word.
Just blink code at me if you're in trouble right now.
Got it.
But no, she's a damsel in distress.
She was a throwaway character, man.
She was.
I'll tell you
Ugh.
let's face it, the center of it, Benicio del Toro.
I will go on
was.
record and say that is my favorite role of Benicio del Toro. And at first I was like, wow, he's playing this kind of shitty. Because he was just like really tired and annoyed looking. And then you get into why his character is like that.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of spoilers, like his family got killed, so now he's out to kill the people that killed his family.
He was
And
really
you're
just
like,
along
"Oh,
for the
shit,
ride
this
until
guy
he
is he's real calm and collective, but when it comes time to doing business, don't get in his way.
You just said it. It reminds you of how like insanely talented he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at Benicio del Toro's history. I don't care who you are. You go back 1983, 1984, 1987. The movies he put out were just...
Well, he was in this movie called Savages, where he plays kind of a hitman in that movie too, and it's two totally different people.
That's what I mean.
And that, yeah,
amazing. He also did a drug war movie.
Traffic.
Not
Traffic.
No, he did Traffic too.
Mm-hmm.
The Camarina story. This is drug wars.
Oh.
So he's familiar
Yeah.
to like this type of role on both sides.
Yep.
So that's
Oh, was that The Way of the Gun?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was a good one. That's an underrated.
That was like
film.
99, 90 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you take a look at this. I mean, his history has been.
I think The Hunted was probably my second favorite. With Tommy Lee Jones again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that was a cool movie because, like, they were so to the book about how real knife fights go down. And I loved that. Did you see that?
It was very, it was not like slasher. It's more of like a chess game between
They said,
two people.
yeah, they were like the real deal goes down in 5 to 20 seconds. Like, it just happens.
So they're so
and it's
careful
nasty.
with what they do in that movie.
And if you have two people that are really good at it, then it'll go 30 seconds.
Because Benicio del Toro is like the most laid back and like cool person, like warm kind of guy.
Yep.
And in this film, and a lot of other films, but this film, he's just scary. And like it shows like two torture scenes where he like tortures people because he's like a hitman to get information. He's helping out the American government because the American government's gonna help him kill his family. That's pretty much the skinny.
Yeah.
And he like gets like right on top of people in their freaking comfort zone. I was like, is this kind of like weird? Like, is this sexual or something at first? But he just wants to show the people that
Who's in charge.
yeah. And like once he stands next to a guy in a chair who's sitting in a chair, and he stands next to him, and he's just like overshadowing him. And then once they're both in a car, and he gets like right on top of the guy, and he's like, "You're gonna get hurt or die," pretty much is what.
Man,
but with his body language.
Well, it's kind of like foreboding, like who he is and how
He's a
dark,
big guy. He's
but
6'2".
But
you know
how
that?
dark he is in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays a very. It's very dark. Like when you look at what he's going through, that's what I think got me.
It's weird. He plays like a very calm, collective person, and he's just like, "I go where I sent. Welcome to Juarez," And then like boom, when he starts like shooting people and stuff, it's just like a massacre of, and he starts torturing people. It's a totally different. He's like a switch that goes on and off in that movie. Yeah, Emily Blunt was the only thing I really had a problem with. That was it, really.
Yeah.
If her character had just gotten into the story more, or there was no payoff with her. With Benicio del Toro, there was a payoff there.
Continually. It's like a slot machine.
Like, the end of that movie will blow some people away.
Yes.
Like, literally. But it's pretty insane.
All right, let's jump ahead because of popular demand. Jump ahead to Martian. The Martian.
Let's just get into this. This is Harold as one of Matt Damon's premier roles, best performances of his career.
Basically, it was Matt Damon's Castaway.
So what you're trying to say was Matt Damon's Castaway?
Nowhere near.
Yeah,
as good.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, no, I understand the analogy. Because
I think
it. Yep.
I think it was because I think that Matt Damon did a beautiful job at being alone on screen for a long period of time, and given the way they allowed him to be alone, it was great. And I saw that from the trailer before we even saw the movie, you know.
I think Matt Damon was good, but I really did not like this movie at all.
No,
I gotta
it
say.
fell short.
if we focus on
bad.
Matt Damon, nothing bad to say about this movie.
Right.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
everybody else, you can't have 8 characters that were the quippy kind of smart character. It doesn't. Nobody's different. Jessica Chastain just says her sentences in complete enunciation to sound smart. If you like break down her lines, she's like, we're gonna open the hatch all the way to get to the technical support, and like you as an audience, look, oh yeah, there's so many smart things in this movie, there must be something cool. But it's really not that. It's not that good. Like, what's his name? Jeff Daniels? He's just playing the same guy he played in The Newsroom.
Yeah.
It's the same person.
Yes.
It's like reinvent. Here, we're just gonna write his role in and get him.
Oh yeah, now he's just in charge of NASA. That's it. It's the same character in how he delivers his lines, the difference between what's kind of funny and sarcastic in his lines. It's the same guy. It really is.
I thought that they spent too much time like drawing, like illustrating how they were going to achieve tasks. So they were like here's a salt shaker and here's a pepper shaker.
You're
Mars. We're gonna go and slingshot around Earth and come around over here and Mars. And
I hated how they had a plan and then like they kept adding to the plan. Like
it got more and
like
more
you said you
elaborate,
knew everything. You said you did the numbers, and they're like, "Oh, we forgot to tell you. You have to be in the ship and take it all apart." Good luck.
That's what. Yeah, towards
I think in that's like a bad Apollo 13 right
It was
there. They dump the box on
terrible.
the table and everybody goes, "I don't know what to do." Shit.
But it was like that scene in Apollo 13.
Yes.
The whole movie.
The whole
They
movie.
kept trying to find something. They're just trying to captivate an audience.
I have to
thinking
say,
this was smart.
I have to say that I love that part with Matt Damon. How he's like, we have the world's greatest scientist. Literally, every scientist on the planet Earth working on this. And the best they got for me is we're gonna drill a bunch of holes in my rover and hit it with a big rock. That was the best they got.
But yeah, you
and
can't
they showed a
have
guy like
everybody
falling through the roof.
Everybody had that personality. I hated it. Michael Pena, same guy. He's like,
He's
oh, let me
definitely-
say something funny and smart. There you go.
Definitely the writer didn't have like a depth of understanding
No.
for different characters because it was all one big kind of like sarcastic
So
character.
you read the book.
Yep.
In the book, does he stab his suit and go flying in space?
It's somewhat like that, but a little bit different.
In the movie, it was just completely stupid. Like
he
honestly,
went
Hey,
full.
I couldn't. He
The-
went
the
full
book's by-
retard. He went full retard.
Full retard.
Like honestly.
For those who don't know, the book's by Andy Weir. The book has very good. It very well develops the character. Does not have all the quippy bullshit background that's out there. Some of it, but not really. I think that they took the wrong aspect out of the book for that. Here's what I got to say though: is like what's the thing we've always heard since the beginning of any space on Houston? We have a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea is Matt Damon has to develop this whole cause effect sort of thing. So everything, it's like, okay, well, if I do this, then I'm gonna, this will happen and I'll die. Or he has that whole cause effect struggle with every single decision, and he makes it real. Like, he sells that part of it. I think the funniest line out of it was like, he goes, "I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this."
Yeah.
That to me
I
was
feel like that was good, but it was only good from Matt Damon. It's not good from every cast member in the movie.
No.
I know how to save Mark Watney. We're gonna do something else. And it would be like another dumb line like that. And,
Okay, pull out the salt shaker again.
Exactly.
I
He's
feel
like,
that-
you're Mars and you're Earth, so if I go around you, we'll end up at Earth. And
It took like what could have been a blockbuster and turned it into like did I really fucking just have to sit there?
to me it was no better than Astronaut Farmer, honestly.
Oh man!
So
just
do you
said
think that
huh?
deserves an Academy Award?
I'm no.
So no.
But when you put it like that, that just killed it.
I don't.
But
like,
you're right.
Matt Damon was good. I won't say that, but the girl from Kate Mara, I really liked her from 127 Hours. So now she's in Fantastic Four and The Martian. She's had 2 movies this year.
Which is going to be a fantastic
and both
flop.
her roles were just like, why? Your character didn't need to be in this movie.
But House of Cards was the shit.
Like, I really feel like they should have just made the Invisible Girl invisible the whole fucking movie. Like, honestly. Like, just go in that corner, go find the invisible jet. We'll see you later. Like, come on.
Invisible jet.
And in this
Wonder
movie,
Woman.
she was just like the technical advisor, but she didn't say anything smart. The botanist says more smart things, and she's a computer lady, and they're like, in English, and she's like, I can do it. Like, no, let her have her day and explain something convoluted to me.
You know what's
Not the head of NASA that just hired to point people in the right direction.
the thing about that is that every movie, it's been played out too much. Is that there's always been a very sexy girl or guy who knows computers or can hack a computer or something.
I feel like that movie needed that, honestly. When I see a movie that says directed by Ridley Scott, I expect something really fucking good. This guy made Blade Runner. He made Alien. What the hell, The Martian? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Ridley
he fell
Scott
through.
is... I would say he's down but not out. But he's down for sure.
All right. Final thoughts on the 3 movies. Final thoughts: Sicario, The Martian, Everest. Go.
Go see Sicario. Everest, if you have time. Wait for Martian to come out on
You could rent that.
Netflix.
Yeah, you could rent The Martian for sure. I mean, I would have loved to watch that movie with my grandma, honestly. Like, it's on par with that.
Which
but-
one? The Martian?
The Martian.
Okay.
It's a nice, easy movie to watch, but it's not good.
If you're looking to
It's really
spend
not.
$11 on a ticket, Sicario.
If you're probably the kind of person that listens to this podcast and is somewhat serious about a movie, you're going to look at The Martian and go, "Bleh."
Yeah, it
But,
fell short.
Fell short.
But I would say hell yes, Everest. I cried, and I don't cry at movies. I saw Titanic in theaters after it came out in 3D. It was insane. I don't know how even people that saw it in the normal thing saw it. I saw it and cried. And I cried with 1 tear. But I cried at Everest. But Everest, I cried, man. And
I'm not going to make fun of you there. I cried at Striptease. I was like, she
Striptease?
got her daughter back.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say why I cried at 15.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding.
Those
He
weren't
cried tears, but were they tears?
No, they weren't.
But I would
Shot
say
myself in the eye.
Those were lubricants.
I would say Sicario. Holy shit! If you saw the Counselor and you thought that was an intense movie about
If you like Training Day, if you like gritty crime movies, that is your thing.
That is it.
go see Sicario, and
It is really gritty.
Keep the light
Like, it
on
doesn't
after that.
disappoint you
Not
there.
because it's a scary movie, but because, well, yes, because it's a scary movie for real. Because you're going to be like, holy shit. Someone's going to sneak in my room and, you know,
It was a
sell me
Hollywood story, but a lot of that is really happening. So
Yes.
almost all of it. So
Especially that border shit was, I've never been in combat, but I can agree with you. Wow, I believe that what I was seeing
it
was
wasn't
real.
stupid. Like a lot of war movies, they'll be like, pull out the RPG. No, you're not gonna pull out a bazooka and shoot one guy on the road. Like that'll never happen. Like a lot of movies try to go like far and beyond when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
But Sicario was right on point. And you know what I just noticed is like I was watching Narcos on Netflix, and that was based on a true story about Pablo Escobar.
Yes.
And both things, totally unrelated projects as far as who worked on them and all that. The American government hires Sicarios to help them out with their problems. And I feel like there's one of them's true. I feel like that's too weird of a thing for two movies based on different times over the same objective, and then for that not to be true. I just found that funny today.
I have a feeling that there's definitely facts in the fiction. There's facts somewhere in the fiction of both stories. Somewhere, I mean, I know that Sicario is a completely fictitious story, but there are facts there. There's no way that you can have such material that
You can't be white in Juarez. You just can't. Emily Blunt. They're like,
You
look,
can't be
she's
white
white.
in
Shoot
Juarez.
at her. Like, honestly.
Well, in the spirit of this show and in the spirit of Benicio del Toro, welcome to Juarez.